Okay, so a hearty welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm really, really excited to present my next guests and introduce them. Marion and Florian Schmidt, I met last year in Greece, who truly just became like my Greek family. For me, it was one of the most life-changing experiences to go and share time at their magnificent um, not just venue. Venue feels like a very mild word to use for a sanctuary place, a place that really hosts like various retreats and workshops, but really holds so much love and integrity and authenticity, a place that for a long time I was seeking. And you know, the element in looking for a place when you're going to host retreats is really finding if the hosts hold that that true integrity that just meets with you. But what I loved and why I've brought them onto the show is that this is a platform to share stories of inspiration and connection. And, you know, through all adversity, they moved their lifestyle from a very different sort of corporate world, and they will go into the details of it, to really reaching for a dream in probably the most difficult time in the world. Congratulations. A little bit of madness is required for that, I understand. So, Marion Florian, welcome to my kitchen. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, we're happy to be here, also sitting in our kitchen, and also to have you all here with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So start off and tell us where it began. I mean, it was a big move. So give us a little background of where you were before this journey, before you got to Greece.
Shall I start?
If you want, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's exactly what you said, Elaine, that we come from a quite different life. We've been living in Germany. We had our business life. I was working as an assistant to a CEO in a chemical company for many, many years. And Florian was CEO in a company for exhibition work. Yeah, and we both met, it's now
2018, yeah.
7 years ago, in a course for mediumship. It's about clairvoyance, reading the Akashic records that we both did next to our jobs because we were interested and it was calling us. And there we met, and with this course, we came to this place on Lesvos. And yeah, and we've just been friends at this time, good friends. And the former owners were telling that they want to sell this place because of their age. They wanted to retire. And Florian was immediately like, ooh. Actually, he already decided in his heart, okay, this is my place. And he was the first time on this island on Lesvos, and immediately also felt at home.
Yeah.
What so many of us do. It's
Yeah.
very, I don't know, this island, and I get goosebumps. It's like there is something on this island. It's a very powerful, transformative island, and it's kind of calling the people. And
Yes.
the ground, the soil is doing something with the people. It's also about healing, and something's going on here.
I definitely felt
Yeah, and yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I can relate
Yeah.
entirely. There's really an energetic pull to certain places, and you either feel it or you don't. But it was very, very strong when I was at Lesvos. So
Yeah.
I relate to it. And I mean, I don't know that words kind of do it justice. There are some things that are really experiential. You've got to experience it because the words almost dilute, you know, it's very hard to but when you navigate a situation like you guys did from corporate to, and then I mean, where did you So there was a calling when you did the course, but your interest, where did it start in terms of the healing world, prior to getting there? What brought your interest to the healing modalities?
Yeah. You want to say something?
I started very, very early when I was quite young. I was 12 years old, and uh, there my interest started. I read a lot about North American indigenes. You say indigenes? I don't know.
Native
Native North
Americans. Yeah.
Americans.
Yes.
And I will say, from this moment on. And all my life, it was part of my life, I would say. I lost it for a while. What I always did, I was working with tarot cards.
Yes.
I started this with 18 years, and it was always guiding me. But I was not too much into mediumship for about maybe 25 years because I was working, children, family, the whole thing. But for me, interesting is I had a dream since I'm 15 years old. And it was always a dream about what we are doing now. But it was not clear. It was really not clear. It was like it was not clear, like in a fog. So I always, when I went to houses where I could make this, and when I came to this place, I didn't, and they offered me to buy this place. I didn't think even not a second about it. It was for me, it was clear, really in this moment. Um, yeah, it was just clear, I can say. And very interesting was we discussed about everything, and as I would say, maybe after half a year, everything was organized, and we wanted to make a contract. It was February 2020, and we met, and yeah, we found what do you say, Übereinkunft?
An
An
agreement.
agreement, yes. And 4 weeks later, we had this C thing. So Corona or COVID. And in this time, I was CEO of an exhibition company. And after 4 weeks, we didn't have no more contracts, let's say, with all our companies. So I just saw a company collapse within a few weeks. And in this moment, I decided, okay, I can't do a business like this, touristic business, because in the end, it is also a touristic business. But in the end, I will say I had no choice. So I came back in August 2020 because I felt that I cannot take a decision from Germany, so I have to come to this place and to feel how it feels here. And I came to this place, and after 1 week, I decided all in. So, I mean, for sure you remember the feeling in August 2020.
Yes.
No one, we were so unsecure in this time, and we had no idea what's going on and how it will go on in the future. But anyways, it was so strong that I said, okay, I do it.
That's
Yeah, and it was pushing and it was in the same time pulling. So I had really the feeling I had no choice. And the fantastic thing is, in the end, from now I can say the the loudest voice was my heart, and I had to follow.
yeah.
And from this moment on, everything went so easy and doors opened one after another. And
And I love that. I want like people to hear that because,
Yeah.
in a difficult time, like COVID was so interesting. Everything stopped.
yes,
No one could have imagined that they could have managed to stop the whole world in its tracks. And the thing that's taken away is choice. And then there's this concept of, well, what is choice? And what are the choices that you've always made? And are the choices of your own cognition, or are they choices that were created because of circumstance, because of expectation, because of, whether it's cultural, religious beliefs, or whatever it is? And, when you speak about the story, you said, I had no choice. And what you're speaking about is the choice of listening to your heart. And so
yeah.
there was an opportunity, like when we really listen to our heart, that's when a flow can happen.
And the great thing is we are learning Greek now, and the word crisis comes like almost every word in the world comes from the Greek language. And when you translate it in the in what is in the new Greek, not the old Greek, it's the new
Okay.
Greek. And when you translate crisis, it is decision.
Ah,
I love this. How
yes.
interesting. The originally word is crisis in Greek. Crisis, they have it also.
Amazing.
And that, yeah, that's it. And everything opened up in this time. And the best thing that came to me was my wife.
I love that.
You
So,
know, this is so funny because really 3 weeks before
Mm.
I planned to leave, we met again in my little house in Germany. And on this weekend, we found out we are not only friends. And one day later, she said, "Okay, I'll come with you."
amazing. Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like you said, it's about decisions, and it's to decide whether, in this case, you follow the brain and the fear, especially in these Corona times,
Yeah.
or you go and say, okay, you take your courage because your heart is calling you so strongly. And also this decision that I come with you, it was kind of very silent in myself. It was so still, and then I just took every step after one step after the other. Yeah.
That's
It-
amazing. I mean, because I think that's the thing people often inquire about, how do you follow your heart? And
Mhm.
actually sometimes it's a it's a distilling, I suppose it's the distilling of the mind so that you can hear the quiet whisper
Mm.
of the heart. And when I think you follow it, there isn't this pull and push. It's not forced.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it was meant to be like this. And sometimes I have the feeling there was an offer coming from up, and there was an offer from us going up, and we met.
Yes, in the middle. Yes. I hear you completely, completely. So I just wanted to share with everybody, just because as we chatting, it was so beautiful. So I felt really, really lucky that when I arrived last year with my group, Marion and Florian had got married. Was it the week before? It was like
Yeah.
a few days before. So there was this, like, still like this lingering, effervescent, that was the birthing of this new co-creation. And so you could, it was so tangible when we were there. And so they shared their story with all of us then, which was it made us feel like we were part of your story. You know, we were part of the continuation, the future story as it unfolded. So,
Yeah.
Marion, share with us where you were. How did you come to your healing sort of?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, hmm. For me, it was like I always wanted to know, where do we come from? Who am I? What am I doing here on this at some times fucking place? And where do I go to? And it's also that we wrote in this little description, we both know the dark sides of life,
Yeah.
very dark sides. So many of us have these points or periods in their biography that really, it's dark and it's heavy, and life can be very heavy. And for me, it was like, okay, growing up in a family with a very strict father, I know I know about alcohol abuse, psychological abuse. I know about mobbing. I know about family member committing suicide. And so for me, it was very tough when I grew up. And it's like, kind of, I lost myself. I was just like a shell, and I had to struggle to find a position. And it was for many years more than to survive in this world, and to have a safe ground or space, and to somehow survive and live my life. But I always had these questions in myself, and I always followed, starting with 20, going to little workshops, retreats about Reiki, psychosomatic medicine, naturopathy. I went on all the time next to my business job, which gave me so much security, of course. And I went on besides to this job and to learn about other things. And this really filled me, and I loved this, and doing art therapy or whatever. And also coming now, it's like 14 years ago, to this island and doing courses with a very famous person, a psychological person, Robert Betz, doing courses here. And I always felt at home on this island also. And then, in the end, doing this mediumship course and meeting Florian. And this was also, when we talk about decisions, I didn't know what exactly they were doing in this mediumship course, but I got this idea on this island. I want to do something with mediumship. And then I had a telephone conversation with the teacher, and I was just like, okay, I was hanging up and was like freaking out. Wow, there was so much joy. I was dancing and hopping through my flat, and I was crying, and I immediately wrote an email. Okay, I have to go to you. I have to come. I'm fixed. Book me in. And it was like, wow, everything was true. And I mean, imagine if I didn't went there, nothing would have happened. I wouldn't have met this guy. I would not have changed my life and live now on Lesvos. And this is also a sign when your body or is freaking out, and your emotions like, yeah, and and the brain was counting, oh my gosh, this is so expensive. You look how much you will have to pay. But the thing was inside, I was, oh, I have to do this. I don't know why, but I have to go there. And and this is also kind of how decisions can be done, and how your soul is showing, and also your guides, because I immediately had the feeling there are some angels or guides, and they are like, pooh, she got it now. Okay, we have her on the safe side. Yeah, this is one way that your soul can speak, I think, through yourself, and about the healing path, and the way that I did in my life. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, and and you're so right, because so much of that is really, I mean, that for me was really what yoga is. It's the connections, the ability to listen to your body. And we really have to listen to our body. The decision making is way beyond just the mental cognition. way beyond just the cerebral analyzing. It's listening to the interior landscape, listening to the heart, listening to the reaction. And like, you know, the thing is, it can be quite visceral. You can get palpitations when you hear some information, or you can get like tears of joy. And you know the difference between tears of joy and tears of fear. And it's having these two worlds meet, which is what I love in terms of your story, but also what you've created really authentically at Milelia. You know, that was its intent, and you brought that home and created it, you know, in your own way. I wanted to ask, so we're now at the point of COVID. You've made this decision, and there are difficulties, of course. Like, how do you navigate that time, but you listening to your heart and you having to be practical? What happened during that time when you decided to stay? How did you get it like on the road?
For me personally, COVID was a gift. Because we had to close our company, and in Germany we had this short working money, you can say that.
Oh,
Yeah, you get
So
from the state.
yes, exactly. So we closed our company end of July. There were nothing else to do, so I was free. But I still received some money, not the whole what I had before, but I received enough money to live from it. And so it was fantastic because I had the time, 4 months, to pack everything, to organize everything, to prepare the renovation, because my plan was really to renovate it, because it was 25 years old, the Milelia Inselgarten, and
yes.
it needed a renovation. The rooms were old, and so I had so much time to plan everything. I bought all the materials in Germany, so also toilets and everything, because I didn't know if I can get this in this quality here in Greece. Now we can, but in this time it was not sure.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really fantastic, and I prepared everything, and yeah, I said goodbye, quick goodbye to my friends, and uh, it was really, for me, it was a gift. And so I went to Greece in 3rd of January. And that was spooky because it was really spooky. We had an airplane. It was an Airbus, a big one, I think 300 people, and we were 6 people
Wow.
inside this.
It's like
It
Armageddon.
was
Just weird.
it was totally empty, and I felt where I'm going here. Yeah, so yeah, but everything went fantastic. We started to renovate in January, and the funny thing is, I had a plan, so I'm used to organize work from my profession, from my former profession. But I made a wrong calculation. So after 1 week, I found out, oof, we are not enough people. We have not enough time to do all this. So we doubled the team, and after 2 months, I saw, okay, that's not enough anyways. And then, because of COVID, the first group in April, because we had always this first group, we must finish everything until beginning of April. And then the first group called me, sorry, we cannot come. All our flights are canceled. And me, yes, 1 week more. And we continued like this until the end of July.
Wow.
We really could just finish just in time before the first group came in end of July. And
I mean, that's remarkable that you had a first group already during that time. So you had a first group 2021.
yes, we had a we
Wow. I mean, there we were all locked up inside. So
yeah,
that,
but from August on they were allowed to fly.
okay.
And we had 2.5 months. We had a short season, but as a start, it was fantastic for us.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and from the next year on, 2022, we were almost fully booked. This is even 2022. I mean, it was not done, the COVID thing. Yeah, in the winter time, everything was closed in Germany, but they really wanted to come. They needed holidays, and they wanted to come to this place.
Yeah. And people needed connection then. I mean, that was the thing that was being so, people were starved of connection. They had been like locked away. And you just realize we need each other. We need
And
community.
this is
That came out the strongest at that time.
great. So, sorry to interrupt you, but this is great what you say, connection, because the connection brought us to another project here. In 2022, we just wanted to make a little get together with some friends. So we invited them, and it was for me, it was really impressive because we wrote a small list, and on this list were only people which were with them really wanted to spend an evening. So we were there 1 year and 3 months or so, and we had 32 people on our list.
Like-minded people.
Really like-minded people on this island.
Amazing.
And I could not believe this.
Yeah.
Because I didn't find like-minded people in 20 years in Germany, the last town I lived in Darmstadt, I couldn't find 32 people 32 like-minded people. And here in such a short time, so this is also a sign for me that this is a special place because all these people are not, some of them from the island, but many of them they are from abroad or from the mainland, from Athens, from Thessaloniki. They came once to the island and they were also in a certain way lost. So they had to come here.
I hear you. I hear you. I called them when, when you start listening to your needs beyond the exterior, I think things change considerably. And I mean, I think on one level, as much it was probably, and it was certainly the most challenging time to dive into a new business paradigm and project. The exact perfect time because of their intention and because of the kind of business that it was offering. I think I saw during that time for me as well, it was like where it was about bringing West and Eastern ideas together in that we live in a community, we live in a world where there are necessity for materialistic needs, a roof over our head, food to eat, but we need connection. And with that being stripped away, places of integrative health and bringing people together at a time, place where all the pieces of the puzzle are put together in the right way. It was a perfect timing for both of you to have created this. And from there, and an inspiring thing, because I think there's so many people that want to do this. In that, like there is that constant. I mean, as you said, Florian, both of you came from businesses where you knew how to be organized, and so you have to plan. There is that listening to the heart, but you do have to plan and know how to go from step 1 to step 8 to get things done.
Yeah. I think we both we are coming and taking all of our experiences and now giving everything here in, and so everything is fine. What we experienced in our lives, professional and private lives, it's all what is flowing in right now here. Yeah.
And the integration, and when I was there, I could see there's a very respectful integration of the Greek lifestyle, of the community there. I know that you've got quite involved. Share with us, what it was like integrating within the community and the involvement.
Yeah, I mean, the Greek people here really welcomed us with open arms and hearts. And we immediately, as Florian said, we immediately met like-minded people. It's amazing, really. And they made it so easy for us to arrive. And Florian immediately had then this idea to regularly invite for get-together. And then he came up with the idea, hey, there are so many people doing conscious work, either if it's healing work, body work, or like organic agriculture. Let's do a website and show these wonderful people and their wonderful work on this platform for Lesvos, for this island. And that's what we then did also. We are still expanding. We'll meet also in 2 weeks some guys doing organic wine here. And it's like also building hero community, connecting also the Greek people. Because they didn't know, and this is funny, then other people like living 40 kilometers away. And this is nice. It's and also, of course, showing people from abroad. Hey, at one glance, you can have a look and see all these wonderful people. And what a Greek lady told us here when she saw the website was, hey, because it was then also still with the effects and reflections from the Corona time. And she looked at our site and she said, wow, it's like a ray of sun. And it's so wonderful to look at these people and the shining. And it's also that we need each other.
Yes.
And we need each other also to inspire and yeah.
Exactly.
And
what we did.
maybe the biggest gift we received from COVID was that we how you say that the community was growing.
Yeah.
More people, a certain time we were all looking just on the really bad aspects of COVID. But my feeling is that it brought many people together to build communities, and to think about what is important, what is really important.
Yeah.
I know many people who changed their lives, who changed their mind in a certain way, and who started to follow their heart. So, and for me, in the end, there's also a gift. Yes, there were many, many problems with it. There were many people for sure also dying, and but it also had positive aspects.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where I think we should focus on.
Yeah. I agree with you so much. I mean, it's an easy and obvious default to look at that which doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's obvious. It takes a little bit more courage, a little bit more focus when you've got to just focus on what does. It doesn't mean it, you keep your blinkers on and you walk in the world naively. But if what we focus on, we know is what we draw towards us. And what did come up is the level of how people were desperate for connection, for healing, and for each other. I mean, a really interesting turnaround, I remember a friend of mine speaking to me about, she's a numerologist. And so she spoke about sort of the 1900s being 1900 and whatever. That was the era of like with bear with me, everybody, 1 and 9 being 10, 10 reduced to a single number is 1. And so she said the reflection for her as a numerologist on the 1900 period was about the individual, me, myself, and I, achievement. And I think those of us growing up in the sort of 70s, 80s, 90s, understood that very much. 2000s bring in the two. And the interesting thing, as you were chatting now, I was thinking like 2020, you've got 2-2, which is really like two is about communion, coming together, collaboration. And the only way moving forward out of that dark tunnel with COVID was that collaboration. I mean, the collaboration of you, the collaboration of heart work, along with the collaboration of like business and creativity. And I think that's the like new era that we're in. If we can combine where we've come from, like you said, Marianne, like the wisdom of where we've come from. But also, I mean, even within medicine, if medicine now integrates the West and the East modalities, how they could get the best of both of each other, and to live it and offer that for people, like what a gift, what an absolute gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the collaboration expands more and more. I mean, if we also include the invisible world,
Yes.
there are things beyond what we can see, and they also want to collaborate. And it's also here, things are changing. It gets easier and easier for us to connect with this invisible realm.
Yeah. I hear you and understand that completely. And the thing is, once you start that journey, you can't pretend you don't.
Yeah.
We feel, I can't say for me, but I can say also maybe we feel really blessed to host this place. And what the former owners, Irene and Ursula, what they did here, it's so fantastic. And as longer as we are here, we feel it more and more every day. I mean, I always imagine when they started the business, we have this year the 30th anniversary. So they did it for 24, they run it for 25 years. Yeah. And when they started, there was nothing but a field.
Wow.
Yes. So they built the first house, they built everything, and the Milelia Inselgarten, the property itself, it is so balanced. It's really great, and it took a while to experience everything there. And now we feel really blessed to host it, to take care of it, and maybe to improve it a little bit. But the most important, and for me, is really a healing place. Is that we can host people and they are coming together, and it's all for all of them. It's a small, sometimes it's just a week, a couple of days. It's a healing period.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we feel the same with each other. I have the feeling we are healing on each other, Marion and me. Also on this place, but also with all these people, with all this energy, because this is a total different energy what we have in Germany actually now. So we both have been to Germany this year for a couple of days, and yeah, we feel much better here. It's it's a different energy, and the thing is, to connect, we need spaces.
Yeah.
And this is it's really a great space for people to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you shared with us when we were there, our group was there, you shared how, and there is something really remarkable about the design, the layout of Milelia. I mean, you did an exquisite job of the rooms were all have been redecorated and completely revamped. It was much needed. But the layout of this place is quite exceptional. I can't begin to share with all of you. It's like it was, there's this feeling when, and I'd been there in 2019, and then, I went again, obviously with like real integration within myself as well. 2020, what are we in? 24. And you walk around and it has this feeling all at the same time of expansiveness, like you feel like it's kind of big, but at the same time, like really connected. And I mean, I was there for a whole week. How many times I would walk around, like from the rooms to the pool and then the dining area. You never get bored, and yet the proximity of the buildings there was just something genius about it. There was this connectiveness. I was like, how did they get it right? And then you shared how it was designed in the chakra system. Share with us and chat to us about that.
The whole place is connected with the chakra system, but the thing is also that that the former owners, they got many inspiration from above. It was not coming out of their brain, let's say like this. They get inspiration from above, and they and the spirits led them, and then also they had a person helping them with the
Geomantic, yeah.
geomantic. It's about really balancing a place, and this is what they plan this really on these aspects, and so it's really what you describe. You can feel it on the place, that the energy, the circulation of the energy is somehow so well balanced that you can feel it.
Yeah. And I tell you, for all of you in the house, I must say, like, this might be a little woo-woo, and you're like, but I'm telling you, there was, yes, sacred geometry, exactly. There was just something like it's brilliant. It like translates in terms of architectural brilliantly. And you can feel the power of that. Thanks, Tia. I appreciate that.
They always, what I find interesting, they always ask the place if they are allowed to build whatever they built. And when they finished, they always made a ritual with holy dances. So they didn't just build a building and that's it.
Yeah.
They always did something with it. And I think this is part of the process, why it is like it is now.
Yeah. Well, and you know what I've loved is that you guys have honored it so beautifully. You've really, and that was having been there in 2019 and then coming in 2020.
There were some places I really thought they are kitschy, so I didn't like them at all. But after a while, when you get used to it and you see, it makes sense that they are where they are. So
and I hear you, because in 2019 they were like, I sometimes couldn't get past the decor interior, and I knew I scouted it for a week, and I made this plan of like how my retreat would go if I ever had one there. And then when I came back in 2024 last year, I could see it with this, a refresher, but I could see every corner of it and the genius behind it. So sometimes you just need to sort of re-look at that, look at it from a different perspective, and it's just put together perfectly. But the combination of the two of you going in with integrity, with respect, with good intention, as also brings the magic to the place. On top of Lesvos itself, it really is a powerful little, and I think quite understated island. It isn't. Which is kind of lovely. You don't want it to have the that Santorini thing,
No.
you know, commercialized. You know, that's what I loved about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also kind of a rough island, and also there are many different phases and also unique things like the petrified forest that we have here. I mean, it's really something seldom. Yeah, and I think all in all, it's a combination here.
Yes, yes. I mean,
Very
that,
volcanic island. And sometimes I think that's why it brings up everything to the surface,
yeah,
the good and the bad, but it brings it up. And when it comes up, you can handle it.
yeah,
Long as it is totally hidden somewhere else in your body or wherever, you cannot handle it.
yeah, yeah. So it's, I mean, and I think that's what adds to it, and along within the audience. So Sharon Doré, who's a great friend of mine, but came last year on the retreat and said she was on it and it was magical for her. I remember saying to Sharon, like, please share your experience. And the truth is, after she came, she was like, it's just beyond words. I can't really, you know, she didn't find a way through that, but it does, you know, it did have that effect. But to find a place that supports you going through processes is a necessity these days. There's so much disruption in the world on many levels. People really need this. Like, I don't know this as much as it's a luxury thing. Like, the thing is, I was actually writing something earlier on self-care, healing, going through processes. This isn't anymore a luxury. This is a necessity.
Yeah.
We need it.
Yeah. You know, and if we can be part of supporting each other through that and yeah, and helping people through that, that's it's I think that's also that thing of like people are looking for a sense of belonging in this disconnect that's happening, and purpose.
Yeah.
And you know, even if one's purpose is about overcoming one's own pain and one's own traumas, and not necessarily working in, you know, doing community or work of service. It's so important. The purpose is so that there's, you know, you can only have a sense of joy in life if you uncover these dark sticky pits, and so to create these spaces of healing is so important, that I just felt like it was really important to share with everybody. And you know, there are many places that I know we all know of, and there are many resorts and many and retreats are not a new thing. It's definitely not novel, but it makes a huge difference to have created a space and have found a space. I mean, for me, but for those of us that have experienced being there and meeting you guys, where there's the integration of your story, and that gives an element that's completely, I mean, you have the support of this magical island that holds an energy, the architectural sacred geometry and brilliance of Milelia, and then your own sort of real calling of doing work of service and healing, and coming together as like a collaboration in partnership and for others. It had the most powerful effect for me to visit a place like that. I've been to many beautiful places, but when you have that real human interest of healing and care, it was just magnificent. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I have another aspect. I think what is also important for the future for all of us, for our development, we need safe and protected spaces. And this is one of them.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. We are not directly in Molivos. We are just, you walk 15 minutes to Molivos. So it's a little bit away in the fields. We never lock the doors here.
Which
Yeah,
for
for
South Africans is like something unknown. I mean, it's yeah, it's another level of like the level of like relief that happens in your heart when you can come to a place and have that sense of safety is something else.
3 years before, Gillian has been here with a group of women from South Africa, and they could not believe that we don't lock the doors. It was so
Foreign.
hard. Yeah. And this is also, I think, very important. I mean, it's not only safeness, safety in the outer. It's also for sure it's important to develop it in our inner. Yeah. But to have a place like this where you can just be like you are. I think this is a very good experience because I'm sure that every experience in this direction, it helps. Even if it's just 1 week, but you can take a little part of it into your normal life.
Yeah. I agree. I think as people start doing, visiting these spaces on a more regular basis or making it a part of what they include in their lives, they take, it's for us to take these, leave them with bits that they can take home, integrate good practices, integrate more mindfulness, integrate more community connectivity, and really importantly, understand the importance of self nurture. That might be even if you are a busy mother and you might have a career still. It might be just 15 minutes a day, but it's really important to integrate that, to make that 15 minutes count. So with the practices that are taken away during a retreat practice experience. Florian, you also offered sound bath journeys and do. Where did that come from? I mean, it was the most exceptional experience, and he has these beautiful sound bowls and gongs. And where did this come from?
I heard it once a few years ago, also during our education, and I was totally lost from this moment on. So I just started to experience everything. I ever was thinking about learning it from a teacher because we have some teachers. We have a very, I think he's almost famous guy from Germany, Peter Hess, it's his name. But I never did because I found out to experience, to play like an instrument, to play and play and play, and then I get into it. So
Yeah.
that's how it started. I really, after this first experience, I think 1 week later, I went to a shop and I bought 7 singing bowls and I just started. And yeah, it's like it's the same. No fear, just start.
Yeah, just for, and it's also something that spoke to you, which translates when you do it. And I mean, again, it's that experience. I remember a teacher saying to me after doing a little obsessively, I did my first yoga teacher training and then I did do 3 more after that. But he said to me, and I never forgot that, he said, the best teacher for you is going to be you teaching. And it's that, when something speaks to you, go and do it. And the energy of the sound and the spirit of the note of the sound journeys, you almost, I can feel when you do it, you connect with that and then translated it through us.
Yeah, and what I really like with this work is when the people are laying around me after, let's say, 40 minutes, I have the feeling now they are what they are. This
Yeah.
is the pure essence of them. And the feedback sometimes is really they lost this, they were almost lost in space. They didn't know where they were. But all the problems they had in the normal life were gone in this moment. They just felt.
Mm, mm. Yeah, because you start connecting with, I mean, if we are vibrations, you start
Yeah.
connecting with that.
Yeah.
So I hear you. Absolutely. Um, while some of you are still there, quite a few of you in the audience, I wanted to open up to people the opportunity and see if anybody wanted to ask some questions. I know I'm trying to have a look. There was Ilana chatted to me earlier on, so she was very keen to get hold of you guys and just find out about Milelia. So, is if anybody wants to ask any questions, either just unmute yourselves or raise your hand, and just know we are available for any questions. Um, while you're deciding or feeling shy in the house, I think I can see them, so they're just enjoying the conversation. And I actually have a friend of mine, Irene, who is dialing in from Athens. So and B somewhere on no, in Germany.
Germany.
Yes, the rest in South Africa, I think. So just in terms of like concluding, share with us how, what is the end note in terms of like, if people have a dream, how do you put that in, not just put that into practice, but what can you leave them with to just like keep that sort of dream and inspiration alive?
This is a mean question. Yeah, because everybody is talking about, you just have to hear on your heart. But I think this is one of the most difficult things we have to do or we can do.
Yeah.
Um, there is one instrument, yeah.
Mm.
When I do coachings and people ask me, what is my purpose? And they say, quite easy. Your purpose? No, I cannot say. I have no idea about. But what I tell them is when you start and you don't know where to go, make a list. Make a list with all the things you would like to have in your life. It can be quite easy, simple things, but make a list. And I tell them most of the time, make a list with at least 100 points. And then they are struggling. Oh, I have no idea. But it's a good thing to become clear about what is really important for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, this is maybe the first step because we all have our lists in our mind. We have them, yeah, but then they are moving the whole time around and we don't get clear. So when we write it down one time, it's so easy, and then you can you can choose what is more important, what is less important. And I always tell them, start with the easy things,
Yeah.
not with the very difficult things. Start with the easy things because my experience is when you do all the easy things, the inner space opens up slowly, slowly. And the more difficult things, they have more space to grow. And so you can go step by step to this point. I mean, this is funny because when I came here 2019 and they offered me, I didn't have a list. But there's one thing, maybe this is interesting because a friend of me, she was coaching me 2014. She told me, make a vision board. I don't know if you know what this is.
Yes, yes, yes. I have one. with a
Yeah.
lot of pictures from Milelia on mine.
And she told me make a vision board, but don't put too many wishes on it because the up
Universe.
there, the universe, they don't know what is more important for you. So if you put 100 wishes on this vision board, they don't know how to decide. So she told me, put on this vision board the main 6, 8, 7 points of your life. And interesting is, I had no idea in this time. I had not enough money, I had no idea, I had no time, but I put on this vision board the place of healing.
Yes.
And it was really not in my field in this time because it was short after my divorce and blah, 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 blah. And 5 years later, I was here.
Wow.
So I think when you ask this
Yeah.
question, we first maybe must find out where to focus. And if we do, then I think we I don't know, but I think we get assistance from above.
Yeah. Yeah. I,
Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe it's just construction. I don't know.
But I do love your practical advice because people do want to connect with something practical. And there's really I find, I write down a lot of things. I write down my classes. The thing is that writing down, as opposed to typing on a computer, the writing is it's the heart line in Chinese medicine, the hand to heart. So when you write, you remember, you have more cognition, there's intention, and you can look at these things that you dream of or the things that you want and start interacting with, like you say, like okay, well, it might be a little thing of the importance list, making lists, or if people want to do diagrams, but it gives them a practical application, which is such a great starting point because you've got to get involved, like physically get involved. It's a very nice exercise to do. So I love that advice.
And what I really like on vision boards is if you put pictures on it, not only words, it speaks directly to your heart
Yeah,
because the pictures are speaking easier with us
yeah,
than words.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Also, a picture really can tell, say 1,000 words in it. The
And the
limitation.
funny detail, I put on my vision board also I was single in this time and I wanted to meet an intelligent woman on how you say
On the same
on the same level, let's say.
eye level.
Yes,
We have
yes,
to say it
We have a
verbally.
saying
Yeah.
eye
On
level.
the same wavelength, hey?
yes,
Yeah.
in wavelength.
And the funny thing is they have a lot of humor up there because she's almost as tall as me.
I love that. So on many wavelengths. That's brilliant.
And for me, it's like important is just do it.
Yeah.
I learned so deeply in the beginning of my life that I am powerless. I'm helpless. And for me, it was like to overcome again and again. And I go over this step and I do this. And very often we don't have a risk, or we are thinking that there is a risk. But if you have this feeling here inside, this calling, then go and follow. And really very often we don't have a risk, and it's not about sometimes quitting job and leaving your country or whatever. I mean, this is something very extreme.
Yes.
But it starts with smaller things, but it's really often this following this little tiny thing that is calling you, or like I would like to do this, but I'm so afraid. Okay, but I go for it, and I overcome my fear. And this is how I really started 7 years ago, also starting with our mediumship education, which led me really like following this calling and overcoming my fear. And again, and then you are expanding, because we are not here for, I have a cat on my here. I have to, we are not here to stay in a small box. We are here to experience that we are much more and to blossom and to expand and to come to our place and to follow also our voice and to inspire also other people and to get on our place and do what you said before, our purpose,
Yes.
why we are here. Yeah.
You know what she did? She started singing in public.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but this was also the kind of following this. There was like a little thing here inside. I always wanted to sing, and I just took some lessons. And they are doing what at Christmas. They are always making little concerts with the pupils, and the families are coming all, and everyone has to sing a solo on the stage. And this was really, I tell you, it was one of my biggest fears that I had. It's like being in front of people and then to sing. And then they even paid money for it. It was
And
And
you
you
were
know,
sweating.
it was 1 week I had diarrhea. I was sweating blood and everything. It was a torture. And a friend of mine was telling me, why are you doing this? When you are so afraid, then postpone it. Do it 1 year later. And
Yeah.
I was saying, no, it will not change anything. The fear will be the same 1 year later. And also, this was then Corona, and it wouldn't happen at all. And I
Yes.
said, there is this calling and I have to do it now. And this was amazing, really. I did it, and my singing was not the best, but that was not about this. It was
Yes.
about going on the stage in front of all these people with all of my fear and being there and everyone looking at me and singing my song.
Amazing. I love
And
just that
yeah,
word, like singing your song, showing up for you.
yeah. And that's what we are here for, showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To show up.
And
I love that. Yeah. And listening to the calling. Oh, this has been so amazing. If anybody wants to, let's see. So I'm just going to read some of the messages. Tanya just loved it, loved the energy. Thank you, T, so much for coming. There was a friend, Irene. She sent me a WhatsApp. I'll read it just now, but was so happy that she was on. I know Ilana, she's sitting in the house, and she has sent you guys an email.
yeah.
Bye, T. Lovely to see you, honey. I'll see you maybe tomorrow for yoga. Um,
Bye.
and for everybody else that came tonight, just a huge thank you so much. If any of you are interested in joining Marion Florian and I on the 28th of June this year, for a week with me doing yoga, or any other time with them, or want to organize retreats, please go onto their website. I'll send their information tomorrow. My information for my retreat is available as well. But more importantly, it's really about sort of sharing, reaching for your dreams, and that there are communities available, there are spaces available to go to visit. And yeah, it's a great time to do that. So thank you, Florian, thank you, Marion, for sharing your story, for creating the space so beautifully. And I must say, I cannot wait to come and visit again in June. So I will see you guys there. And then to all of you, thank you for coming tonight. I have a guest for next month. I'll share those details soon. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sharon. She said it's a wonderful conversation. So yay. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for coming and being here. And I just wanted to say one more thing. If there is a longing in yourself, there is a reason for it. There's a good reason for it. Then respect this
Yeah.
and follow this.
Yeah.
It is a sign from your soul. It's a whisper from your soul, the longing that you have inside of you. And it's a path. It's a sign. Go there.
Love that. I love that. Absolutely. Ah, beautiful. So thank you so much for your time, your energy, your friendship. I can't wait to come and see you both soon. And thank you, all of you. Go and have a really good night and a good week and look after yourselves. Thank you, Cher. Thank you, Sharon. And I will see you all soon.